This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Minute podcast. Today's discussion is cryptocurrency, three overriding themes. The first theme, and we'll really go through 3 points. I don't know if I'll call these themes. I'll start with 3 facts. Fact 1 is FTX reported, I think late last night, that they're missing about $9 billion in customer funds. It was $8.9 billion to be exact, or around exact. But that's a lot of money just sort of missing in the sort of metaverse of cryptocurrency. Second, Silvergate Capital, which is one of the banking firms that had been built and grown out to lend into crypto firms, crypto exchanges, crypto everything, is down, I think, 62% over the last 5 days. And again, we'll talk about what this means, FTX, and what Silvergate means to crypto as a whole. Third, Bitcoin dropped 5% in the last 24 hours. It's still hovering around 23,000, so it's recovered well since it really fell at the end of last year, November after the FTX debacle, down to 16,000, 17,000. But we'll talk about these 3 things. When you get these big exchanges like FTX, already sort of falling apart and in receivership and down and showing that they lost on $9 billion, the biggest bank in the business saying that it's not sure it can stay solvent, and it's down 62%. This has a huge impact on the underlying sort of currencies and concepts, the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, et cetera, because what happens is if the ecosystem around all this stuff feels so shaky, it leads the rest of us to view it as very concerning to invest into it. So until that ecosystem feels safe, it's hard to invest in cryptocurrency. Certainly somebody might have 1% of their portfolio in it or less than that, or some piece of their portfolio in it. That's sort of their, almost like betting on the Dallas Cowboys and New York Jets. But in terms of a real true investment theory or conviction around it, it is very hard for most of us to do so without feeling that the ecosystem is relatively secure and safe. And that's sort of where we find ourselves. So again, that's what we're looking at today. The biggest bank failing, the biggest exchange, one of the biggest exchanges, the FTX, driven by Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, falling apart, leads one to just have less confidence in the entire sector. I lost money in it. My investment in Bitcoin went down 60, 70% from the time I invested to the time I got out, which I had invested in a Bitcoin index fund. There are days when I want to put money back into it for the fun of watching the ride. But one should differentiate that fun of watching the ride versus truly any confidence at all in an investment. Because right now, with the ecosystem being a debacle, it's very hard to view it as a confident place to put money. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Minute podcast. Thank you for joining us.